Kaboom! Así, sol, así, sole. Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the Game Hub. I'm your host, GamerK, and for that weird introduction, I couldn't remember the second chant, so I had to do a video file. Well, it's time for another Super Sentai to Power Rangers ideas video. And yes, every time I do one of these ones, I will be doing the calling chant to when they transform, just for the hell of it. And yeah, Hasbro has kind of sped up my timetable a little bit. After the Beast Morphers Season 2 trailer was released, they did a little thing coming 2021. They will be adapted into Kishiryu Sentai Ryusoulger. The one that literally just finished about 2 months ago. Could have done the 4 that have not been dubbed into Power Rangers yet, but I guess it's time. I guess for some reason or another they're going with the one that just finished. So my timetable for reviewing them had to be sped up a couple months before any information comes out, any plot ideas, because I don't want to be taking those ideas by accident if they ever surface. So that's kind of why. So getting right down to it, Ryusoulger, all honesty, not my favorite. It was not my favorite Super Sentai out of the bunch, and it was a cool concept, but in terms of a story, it felt like it jumped around to a whole bunch of places, and it never really stuck to something until the end. Actually, we didn't even get a main villain until like the final 4 episodes. So that's why it was a big disappointment for me. I liked the characters, I liked the monsters, but it did not have a great story. I mean, I didn't see a lot of the Ryusoulgers interact with anyone in the real world as the other Super Sentais have done. It just feels like they were more focusing on, I don't even know. Because a good majority of them, yeah, they do have their personality traits, and in a couple episodes they build on those character traits, but in the end of it all, it just feels like they were just, it felt like every episode was not within the story, and then the minute there was a story, it's like, oh, right, we have to stop this great threat. So all honesty, this is going to be a heck of a time me giving my opinions for how they can make it into a Power Rangers. First of all, the name. And because of a YouTuber who takes the Super Sentais that haven't been done yet and creates really epic openings for them, when I find his channel, I'm going to plug a link into his channel down below. Go check them out. He is amazing. I forgot his name. If you're watching this, man, if this video finds you, I'm sorry if I forgot your name. It takes me a while to remember YouTube channels, unless I've been watching them for a number of time. But he does epic openings. He comes up with great names. So the name I'm coming up with is his. Kishiryu Sentai Ryusoulger will become Power Rangers Dino Knights. And honestly, why wasn't it dragons? I mean, we've done dinosaurs like 3 times already. Can we just go to dragons and not Mystic Force? Because that was barely even dragons. So my idea for this is for the Minosaurs and those, the villains. This reminds me of Power Rangers Overdrive, and I swore I would never bring that up again, but desperate times. It feels like they swapped villains in and out every couple bits, and as fun as that is, it just feels like they get rid of them so often, and then they come back later on, and it feels like it feels like this season was a trial and error for some reason. I mean, I loved Ryusoulger. He was my favorite. And then when Precious came in, finally a female villain who isn't a backseat to making the monsters grow. I mean, how many times do they even do that? Gauche, Rita Repulsa, Neria. Okay, yeah, they've used too many females making monsters grow and everything, and that needs to end. So, first off, I'm going to start with the villains. Because even though the villains are well created, and all the Minosaurs, the monsters, are based on mythological monsters, I love that. I love having... I mean, it does also have a tone with the Knights fighting off mythical monsters. I enjoy that. A way they can do the villains in the Power Rangers series is maybe... they bring back something that I love in the Power Rangers, a human... villain that's in a costume, you know, in a really cool costume. Let's just say he, like, long ago, he discovers an ancient evil deep within the earth, you know, keeping the tone that the villain of this whole thing is still a spirit of the earth and has been corrupted by the years and years of seeing civilizations fight, causing war, causing problems. So they rise up, and this guy finds them, and he becomes their new, not leader, but, just a guy, you know, who tries to destroy the world and make it anew. Something like that. Stuff like that I would really, really get into. And all of them are right from the get-go. Tank Joe, Granacious, Ryusoulger, Precious, because all of them have a chessboard feel, in my opinion. They all have that. Tank Joe is a rook, Ryusoulger is a bishop, Granacious is the knight, Precious could be the jester, you know, the fun jester, and Creon could be just a kind of a gentle spirit, but is told what to do. You know, stuff's a villain. It's not a villain, but a weak villain who's told to do this or else, something like that. And I think it could be a fun idea. And to create the Minosaurs, I say they go off of what they were doing, of doing a negative emotion of someone, but just without the risk of them dying. Like, have the negative emotions of a kind of like Hawkmoth in Miraculous. When there's a negative emotion strong enough, they use the power, and it creates to manifest that negative energy into a monster. I think that's something that could definitely work in terms of Power Rangers, because it just would work, and it's a clever way to make the monsters and to make them grow. Because I don't want them to be just, they grow just because they can. I'm thinking maybe Kurion could release some of his, I don't know what to call it, ectoplasm, and then it starts to multiply their cells, and then they can grow. That's a smarter idea, instead of just having, you know, all their negative energy of the vessel go into the monster, because I don't think they can do that for a Power Rangers. But I really do like the kind of chessboard feel from all the generals. It's really smart. And maybe, like, because obviously Power Rangers creates a character just for the Power Rangers. Let's see, we got the Knight, we got the Rook, we got the Bishop, we got the main three, and then Precious can be the Jester, but I loved her character. They could have her, like, scheming in the background, like maybe she doesn't like this taking charge from this other general who's the guy in the who's the human wearing the costume, but that's not it in the show. Like, he's an actual general. She doesn't like him, so she kind of schemes behind his back. I would love that. I mean, obviously they've already done something like that in Ninja Steel, but do it less obvious from the get-go, please, because Precious was fantastic. She needs to be in more for the Power Rangers version. Now, going on to the Rangers. Obviously, doing Knights is something that isn't going to be easy to do, especially in a Power Rangers, because they were raised in it in the Ryusoulger tribe, in the original. So coming up with a modern version of how to get the Knights, how about, for a good majority of them, honestly, yeah, doing what Samurai did, having all of them have a lineage to Knights would be kind of a cliche, and also copying that. They need to do something really inventive, like maybe they just show they're selfless, like the monsters and the small. Oh, by the way, the minion knights, those can be pawns. Yeah, those are pawns. So yeah, you got an entire chessboard of generals. So the foot soldiers are attacking the city, and maybe being brave and wanting to save people just for the sake of saving people, the sword appears in front of them, and that's how they get their powers. I would love that. It's something random. It's nothing forced. And maybe they can do something where they think one character will get the sword. It's in fact someone else who will get the sword. I think that's a cool way. Now, in terms of the personalities, I'm not gonna go cliche with this. Let's start with Ranger Black, who would have the Stegosaurus, which I love that, by the way. How about he's kind of a... Let's make him kind of a tough... Like, he's one of the... anyone who has ever seen Persona 4, Kanji, he always looks like this big tough guy, but on the inside he's really delicate and sweet and caring. What if for the Black Ranger we get this tough guy who no one in the town likes, but in a moment of wanting to be better, he saves someone, and that's when he gets his saber. Come on, tell me that wouldn't be great. For Green, I kind of find it irritating once in a while when they have siblings paired up together like they did in Ryusoulger. So how about for Green, let's make him obviously another youth character who let's make him a youth of a very prestigious family. And, he's always had a sheltered life, not really that many friends, private schools, and obviously he's entitled to live up to his parents' expectations. And one day, while not listening and going out with some friends he made, things get attacked, and when his parents come to get him out of there, he sees someone is trapped by the soldiers, and ignoring his own safety, he goes out and quickly makes a decision. That would really fit the Green being super speed, like without a hesitation. He chooses to save someone he doesn't even know. And the Green Sumilodon? Please, don't call it Tiger Zord. Please, call it Sumilazord. Because I think it sounds cooler. Pink, I like that they made her the strong character. So obviously the theme I'm going for is people who look like they're a certain person, but they have that certain soft side in them, like a different personality kind of. I'm trying to purvey a little bit of persona a little bit, but also at the same time trying to make it fit for our Power Rangers, just to make it work. For Pink, what if we go for... Okay, let's see. We got the punk who's more than he appears. We've got the rich kid who actually doesn't like being rich. He wants to be a normal kid. For Pink, oh, by the way, props for making it the Ankylo instead of another Triceratops. So, because if they did Triceratops again, Pink, I was gonna lose it. So for Pink, being a strong type, she could be maybe a girl whose parents are kind of old-fashioned in a certain aspect. So she's supposed to be really girly and all that, be really ladylike. But when she's away from her parents and everything, she's more sporty. She likes to box. She She likes physical activities like boxing, wrestling, sports, stuff like that. And again, on the day when the Druidans, I think that's what they're called. Yeah, I'm pretty sure they're called the Druidans. What if when they're rising up? How about a whole bunch of guys see her as just a girl and decide to protect her, and then she steps forward and shows that she's the one who can actually defend them, and that's when her saber comes out after the guys cower in fear and leave. And then she realizes that she should embrace this side of her instead of hiding it. That's what I love. And I'm going to say this. For anyone who likes my ideas, comment and see what you think. Blue. I know what you're thinking. Blue. Triceratops. We're going to make him the smart one. No. It was a hard debate on what to make the blue Dino Knight be, because every time there's a Blue Ranger, there's always a couple stereotypes that people go for. He's the intellectual one, he's good with robotics, he's a science guy. Blue Ranger, the science guy. I couldn't resist. But it took me a long, long time to think this through. I mean, yeah, the Blue Rangers are always the smart ones, usually. But I'm taking a page from Dead Poet Society a little bit, because I didn't want a smart Blue Ranger. I wanted one who's very charismatic and very well thought out in terms of an actor, kind of like obviously they're not all going to be in high school, because that's been played out way too many times. So if he's in college, he wants to be in the drama program, but his let's say his mother, who's like a college professor, wants him to be in the academic stuff, so like obviously science and math and all that. But after a while, he sneaks to the drama program to audition for a big play and the play will be a big part of the later episodes, and as it develops his personal side episodes. So he wants to be an actor. He wants to be charismatic because it's his dream to be on stage. But obviously his restricting mother doesn't really allow him time to do that. So he sneaks away with the help of his, let's give the Blue Ranger a girlfriend right off the bat, please. And she helps him a lot with wanting to be on stage because she's in the drama program at his college. I mean, come on. Don't you think that could be great? A great little romance with a little bit of side character development. And then, how could he get his saber? Maybe during the attacks, he's out with his girlfriend, and it's time for him to finally step up and not just pretend to be the hero that he's going for. Because he's always been worried about realizing his dream about being an actor. About being an actor and not wanting to hide his abilities, so he plays the macho role, and his saber comes out, and he uses it. Perfect for an actor, right? Plus, he's got a lot of sword practice skills, so it would fit for an actor to rehearse sword skills. And now for Ryusoulger. I've contemplated this so many times, because we got the punk who's a softie, we've got the rich kid who isn't all thrilled about being rich. We got the polite lady who likes to be a tomboy. We've got the shy actor. What could be a great Red Ranger for this group of misfits? I say an absolute nobody. A guy in town that nobody knows, and he just goes through, like he goes to the college, but no one really knows him that well. People make stories about him, about where he came from, but it turns out he's got the most purest heart, of a heart of gold, no matter what. The thing is, I've debated this a lot because I kind of think into episodes going forward of how these characters can build up. So let's say the Red Ranger is the outcast of everything in the city, and for some reason he just acts without thinking. The minute the druid soldiers attack, while everyone else is running, he sees the monsters that's going on and he just smirks. You know, maybe he cracks his knuckles and says, "Bring it on." And this is when like in the episodes we'll see flashbacks of how the other Rangers got their sabers and they're fighting the druids, and they see this nobody, this absolute stranger who no one knows, just fighting with no powers, no sword, not even defending anyone. He just fights. And when they all tell him to get back, like he shouldn't be here, he just outright says, "If I run now, what kind of a hero am I if I just run?" So he just fights just because he thinks it's the right thing to do. Doesn't matter. Doesn't care about the danger. Doesn't care about himself getting hurt. He just fights because it's the right thing to do. And in an instant, the final saber, right before the first monster's about to attack him, boom! Sword goes right in towards the monster. It knocks it to the ground, and the guy picks up his sword and pulls it out like friggin' Excalibur and just raises it and just morphs right then and there. No extra dialogue, no nothing, just I fight because I can, boom, pull out, morph, nothing else, just in a flash. Because I think that could be the most epic Red Ranger first transformation scene ever. And now for the gold guy. I think I kind of like Connell's character having to try to get a bride with every single woman he met. I want to keep that a little bit, but tweak it a little bit. The Gold Ranger will obviously appear like halfway through the first, or a good couple episodes in the first season, and then he'll become more prominent in the second. I say we make him a ladies' man, but again, with a little twist. Like, let's say he's the most charming man anyone will ever meet. Like, he does nothing. He's charming. All the girls like him. Like, he could be a transfer student, but the thing is, he's never had a girlfriend. Like, he's really good looking. He's charming. All the girls love him. But he's just shy, and he doesn't understand, and he doesn't, because people like him just for his looks. He gets the feeling that no one likes him just because, of who he is, and who he really is just a big fat dork. Like, he likes to let's make him a grease monkey in his spare time, He likes fixing old cars, he likes fixing motorcycles. Because let's say he's got a job at a local garage, and maybe one day the Pink Ranger meets him and they just talk. They talk about how he's not so shy when he's working with cars. Something like that. Something that gives him a little bit more character than just being a pretty boy who everyone loves. And, Gold and Pink might kind of develop a little relationship there. I think it would work. And it gives him a bit more character. And how would he get his gun? By the way, Ryusoulger having the Mosasaur be in the Sentai. Thank you. I've been waiting for an aquatic dinosaur, this one in particular, to finally be available. And you use it. Thank you. Thank you, Ryusoulger, for having the Mosasaur as the gold soldier's Zord. I love it. So how could he get it? How about, let's see, obviously showing a certain type of bravery and being who you really are is an important factor to every single ranger being chosen by some source. So how about let me think. Oh boy, I've thought this through so many times, but it still gets me a little bit of coming up with a solid idea of how he gets his weapon. Hmm. I really don't know, to be honest. I mean, it's ideas for me come and go of how a character's gonna act or how story is gonna go. But I think for the Gold Ranger, like he after talking with the Pink Ranger a little bit, after seeing that she's starting to see the real him and she likes him a little bit, but they don't go out immediately. I say they do something where he has to make a choice, and it's one of the monsters comes out and it's toward destroying the town, and he's got to make a choice. He's either got oh, I got it. Like near the end of the episode, it will be a part 2 called, let's say, Shines Like Gold, part 1, part 2. And at the end of part 1, we find out that the good-looking pretty boy Grease Monkey is the mayor's son. I think that's a great idea because for obvious reasons people immediately like him. But the reason no one knew about him was because he was sent abroad to study. And now that he's come back, he's doing what he wants. And during the monster attack, his father, the mayor, is planning to get him out of town so he can, save himself. After discovering that and he starts to think that maybe the only reason Pink Ranger liked him was because he was the mayor's son. So there's a little bit of distrust going there. But once he finally decides, I'm going to help them. It's my life. I'm not going to listen to his father anymore. And he just walks out. Gold Ranger, he fights with the Rangers. The gun shoots into his hand with the Ryusoulger changer. He shoves that in. And I think for the morphing sequence, all the little soldiers still need to come out and do their little chant. I don't know what they're chanting, but it could be something awesome. Just nothing stupid. And then he shoots, becomes he becomes Gold Ranger. Oh my lord. Okay, also for the additional Zords that come out, once the Red Ranger gets that super awesome sword, here's where I think the extra, because the Red Ranger's the one who gets the power-ups in the beginning, but then after a while the others start to use them. Here's where they should go. The green Pachylocephala with the boxing gloves goes to pink. The Dimetrodon Volcano goes to purple. Goes to black. The blue Pterodon goes to blue. And what's left to go to green? The Raptors. The 2 Raptors that merge into one, they need to go to green. No question. And Gold gets his own saber, or maybe not even a saber, maybe just for their own suit, like his own thing for the English. They give him a little, like he takes the gun, they give him a different head. He puts it on, he spins it, and he becomes Gold Super Mode or something. Oh my lord, I am shoving a whole bunch of ideas through this. And, okay, and now for the one part that a lot of them have butchered. I mean, Dino Charge butchering the Carnival mode with just making it a black background and not really making it fun. Yeah, I take points off Dino Charge for doing that. I'm sorry. I enjoyed it, but taking points off for butchering the battleizer. So for this one, here's what I got. Obviously, it's the Max Claw. So I think they should keep the name the Max Claw. And once they get it, Red Ranger starts getting a little cocky and everything, I've got this power, but he tries to use it once, and it doesn't work. He keeps trying, nothing, it does not work for whatever reason. And I think the episode should be about where his mother finally comes into play. And let's do a story about how she walked out on him and his father years ago. Like, I think in Power Rangers now, they should dive into a lot of that story, because a lot of TV shows are doing it, and I think it would make a greater story in Power Rangers. So, obviously, his mom comes to see him at the local hangout where all the Rangers hang out and everything, and he's cold, he's quiet, and he's mad at her for so many years, and he constantly blows her off, even blows up in her face about leaving a lot of emotion going through, and he walks out. Noticing this, that first soldier that Precious comes out with, that samurai-ish spirit, Odin or Odin or whatever its name was, they send him to spy on the Rangers. And the minute he sees this, Precious, or whatever they're gonna call her in the Power Rangers, takes this as an opportunity to make the Rangers know that we can get to you. Because I think Precious's character should be a master manipulator of the mind. She, like, Tank Joe and Gracious, or whatever they're going to be called, focus on frontal assault and combat, while she works on attacking the mind via psychological warfare. So the soldier attacks the place where his mother is, and she gets very injured. And once it's known to him that she's in the hospital, the other Rangers tell him, and he gets really mad. He gets really upset, and he goes to see her, and she's fine, but she's got really damaged. He goes in, and they have a couple mince words about why she left and everything, and how sorry she is. And I'm starting to tear up just thinking about it. And I'm thinking a lot of people watching the Power Rangers, if they ever have the guts to go this far with an episode. I mean, come on. They did the same thing with Wes and his father in Time Force, and Carter in Lightspeed Rescue when the little girl got injured. Why can't they go this far now? They have a couple mince words. She apologizes for everything that she put him through. He accepts his apology, and she falls asleep because she needs rest. He tells the other Rangers to stay with his mother, and he's going to settle this himself. So he goes to the abandoned warehouse where the warrior is waiting, and the fight starts, and he realizes he's not strong enough. And once the soldier strikes his final attack, he just utters words that say he's not playing games anymore. Not with lives on the line. And that's when he instantly morphs into his Ranger outfit, and the Max Claw is on his arm. And that's when he knows it's time to let loose. He gets up slowly. He turns to the monster, raises the claw, raises his figure, and says something awesome like, "You've hurt your final innocent life." Sets the figure, and they need to keep the epic sound the claw makes. Like, it will go, "Max Ranger! Max, 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 Max." It keeps that tone, and it goes for a bit. Max, 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 Max. And then he presses it, and all the armor pieces of the Geizork armor, obviously they're probably not going to keep the Geizork for some reason. All the armor floats in the air. He raises the claw up, and it finally goes in an epic voice, "Max Red!" That's going to be the most epic Battleizer transformation ever. It's intense. It's got emotion and purpose behind it. And then once he's transformed, he goes let loose on the soldier. And he can't believe that he's gotten this strong out of nowhere, because these monsters don't understand human emotion outside of negativity. The soldier and Precious were hoping that this would send the Red Ranger into a deep despair, so they can create a monster that would be so too strong. But he doesn't give in to the negative emotion. He still has his negative emotion, but he uses it to fuel his fire to fight. That is something that that Power Rangers needs. It needs a character who will suffer a lot, but go through something so traumatic that it lights the fire in his determination to fight the evil, to guarantee that no more innocent lives will get hurt by them. This is something that needs to happen for Power Rangers in order for it to gain a little bit of what it lost in the recent years. I still love the Power Rangers that are out, but it's lacking what the old ones had. It had emotional scenes, real, deepening, emotional moments that are just played off for comedy nowadays. And I mean, yeah, they still have a lot of good moments, but it needs to have more of them. And what I've said here in this review, I really hope it finds its way to Hasbro. I really hope this video connects with a whole bunch of Super Sentai fans, with a bunch of Power Ranger fans. This future season of what they're gonna do for the Dino chart for Dino Night. This is what I'm going to be comparing all future Power Rangers to. So they better really step it up. So hopefully they do. Well, ladies and gentlemen, hope you enjoyed all of my opinions on this video. Like, comment, subscribe down below. And for the guy who gave me the idea for Dino Knights, I will, once I upload this once I edit it in, I will put a link to his channel down below. Like and subscribe to his channel too. He does amazing work, and just listen to this soundtrack he created for Q Ranger and Ryusoulger. His Tokyuger one is pretty good, and I can't wait to hear what he does for Lupin Ranger vs. Pat Ranger and Ryusoulger. I'm looking forward to it. Coming up next week, I'm going to take a break behind the camera, while next week, you guys get to watch my favorite anime openings, Part 1. This is Gamer K, logging out.